Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be doing more debunking of internet lies. Today we're going to be following up with my some people are faking being rich, with my some people are faking being beautiful and making the rest of us feel ugly. So without further ado, let's get started. So to begin with, I hate the word ugly. I can't stand it. I feel dirty letting that word leave my mouth because I genuinely do not believe any of us are ugly. I feel like the word ugly is, to me, more representative of people's insides than it is our outsides, because all of our exteriors are beautiful and we all have beautiful features and things about us that make us absolutely gloriously stunning, and a lot of that comes from within as opposed to the external face, if you will. Now, I did a video like this. It's still to this day my most popular ever video, but it is almost 6 years old now. But the reaction to that video really surprised and shocked me as to how many people just don't know what is really going on the selfies that we see, the posts, the TikToks, the reels, the videos, the content that we are constantly seeing with our bare naked eyeballs being thrust right in there. A lot of it is not real, a lot of it is not true, a lot of it is not actually representative in any way, shape or form of what people really look like in real life. I thought literally everything I was saying in that video everybody already knew, but the reaction and the response and the comments and the interest in that video really educated me as to actually how much of this stuff, if you don't work in this industry, if you don't work in the beauty industry, if you don't work in social media, if you're not a creator or an influencer, why would you actually necessarily know all of this stuff, especially if you yourself are not doing it? So it is absolutely time that we revisited what I covered in that 6-year-old ancient video, because nowadays, 6 years on in 2024, there are even more lies and ways to manipulate images and share a false representation of what we look like on the internet. And I think this is so important to talk about, so important to educate, especially young people, young girls, but young boys also, who are constantly bombarded by images that really are not representative of what anybody looks like in person. So first up, let's talk about filters. I feel like most of us know about filters by this point. A lot of us know that most images that we see on the internet, or certainly a huge volume of what we see on the internet, is in fact filtered to some degree. Do you really know what that means though? Because I feel like years ago when we talked about filters, that was in the ye olden times, okay? Let's all make ourselves feel real nice and old. Back in the day when social media first started out, what a filter meant was like, you know, you swiped across and slightly changed the color or the tone of the photo to be more flattering. Maybe it would make you look a bit more tanned. That's kind of what a lot of us started off thinking of when it came to filters. These days, filters literally can turn you into a different person, okay? A whole other person. They change and can change everything about us, from our skin tone to our hair color to our eye color, how smooth our skin is, how big our eyes are, the size and shape of our noses and our lips. They can whiten our teeth, they can slim our face, they can slim our body, and all of these things can now be done on videos, okay? Back when I made that initial video 6 years ago, that I don't think was really possible. Certainly not by like your average Joe with an average iPhone. We didn't have access to that technology. And a lot of times when people were being accused of photoshopping their images, she doesn't really look like that, the response would be to share a video as proof that this is really me, this is what I really look like. And you know, 5-6 years ago, that probably was proof. These days, all of these edits can be done in videos as well. So whereas we used to know if it's a video, what we're seeing is probably true. But now that means absolutely nothing. All of these edits can be made in videos as well. And not just by professionals. Again, maybe 10 years ago, professionals were airbrushing and photoshopping magazine covers. In 2024, if you have a phone, you can do all of that, and you can even do it for free. There are dozens of free apps that can completely change every single photo and video that you post to the point where your own family wouldn't recognize that that was you. And you think that on stories and in TikToks, you can see when someone's using a filter, because it says, doesn't it? It says in the bottom left corner what filter people have used. But did you know that you can pre-film videos? You can go onto Snapchat, for example, and use a filter to record your video, save that video and then upload it to TikTok, and it won't show that you've used a filter. So just because it doesn't have a clear "this filter is on" does not mean that a filter has not been applied or used. And they have gotten so good now. As again, 5-6 years ago, we used to see glitching. You know, if you moved too fast or you used a brush, we'd see the filter slip. But these days, these filters are getting so good that you can fully wave a hand in front of your face and it won't attach the lips to the back of your hand. Has anyone ever seen that happen in a video? Someone moves their hand, there's a pair of lips on the back of your hand. Dead giveaway. That is now totally avoidable. Some of these filters are so clever. You can pass a hand over your face and it won't slip, it will stay. And that's alarming because it's getting more and more realistic. It's getting harder and harder to tell what we're looking at, what is real, what to believe, and a lot of it on social media is not. The next thing that has become so much more frequently used and easily accessible to your average Joe, not a creator, not any kind of professional video setup, but that is lighting. Professional lighting is now available on Amazon for a tenner. Have any of you seen that viral light that went super viral on TikTok? It's a clip-on little ring light that you clip to any phone and turn it on, and it transforms how flattering the lighting is. Again, if you weren't like a YouTuber, a creator, a photographer, a model, no one really had professional lighting setups 10 years ago. Now it's literally everybody, not necessarily just creators. Anybody who wants to take super flattering photos or post super flattering videos on their social media has one of these £10 lights from Amazon that is going to be so much more flattering than natural light in your room, or even, God forbid, indoor home lighting, which is one of the worst, most unflattering lightings that has ever been known to man. Almost as bad as the dreaded in-car mirrors, the horrors I've seen in there. The difference that professional, flattering, filtered soft light makes to how your skin and your skin tone and your eyes look and how your makeup looks is wild. What I do like that has really changed in a positive way from the time when I did that first video to now is how many transparency accounts have popped up. I will share a few of these accounts. I will also have all of their information in the description box of this video, because there are some amazing women out there posting really real, raw videos and also showing the differences between what these filters can do, and they're on during makeup tutorials. Is that not the most misleading thing you've ever heard in your life? That someone is sharing, how great is this makeup, while using filters, while using editing, while using really misleading lighting and settings on cameras and post-editing to change everything about that makeup. It's wild. And it's actually very, very hard. I can't tell you the countless hours I have spent trying to get my lighting and my camera to really show the reality. I want the texture. I don't want to apply like a smooth robot looking face. I want to show you guys the tea. I want to show you the lines, the pores, the texture, how the makeup looks in it. All of that is so helpful. And it's actually, for me, who is, you know, a camera idiot, it's very hard to show all of that stuff on camera. Cameras naturally, especially when you're having to use studio lighting, not natural daylight, because I don't have access to a great source of it in a place I can film in my home. It's very, very frustrating. I would love to only film in natural daylight, but it's very hard to do in this home. One of the reasons why I would love to move. Lights and cameras, they do lie. The old expression, camera never lies, it is a filthy liar. It's one of the worst liars I've ever met in my life. The cameras absolutely do lie, even without all of the editing and filtering that can go on afterwards. There are cameras that have inbuilt smoothing and skin perfecting and teeth whitening on them, but unless you're very, very clever and talented and know exactly what you're doing with lighting and cameras and settings, which I definitely don't, even after all of this time of trying to find it out, it's very, very hard to show the reality of texture and skin tone and colours on camera. It's really, really hard. At least it's very, very hard for me. So if you're following accounts where every single photo that they post and every makeup look that they share seems really unachievably perfect, everything is absolutely perfect, everything is beautifully smooth, flawless, glass skin with not a single imperfection in sight, maybe it's time you started owning who is in your feed, because you have control over that. Follow these realistic, real accounts that share what their skin really looks like, that show what the makeup looks like on the average person's skin in real life, in person, because isn't that more helpful than what it would look like on a robot, on a cyborg? Isn't that going to be more helpful to see what it looks like on an actual person's face? I think so. And it's got so ridiculous that people who post these photos that are very, very natural, unfiltered, raw, unedited, get told that they can't do makeup, they're rubbish at makeup. I've seen really experienced bridal makeup artists post natural daylight, real unedited images of their work and have people rip them to shreds because it's so different to what they're used to seeing. Those hyper filtered and airbrushed and corrected and edited photos have become so what we think is normal and real, that when we see a raw, normal, natural image that doesn't have any changes to it, we think, oh my God, that person is the worst makeup artist ever. They can't do makeup. Why is it so textured? Why can I see her texture? Why does it look heavy? Why does it look cakey? Because that is what that level of makeup looks like in person, in natural daylight, in real life. And we're just so unused to seeing what it really looks like that we are shocked and appalled when we see the reality. The next thing that I spoke about in my original video was cosmetic procedures, cosmetic surgery and changes. And I feel like since that video, these things, these treatments have become so much more commonplace, so much more normalized. It's almost hard to find someone on the internet who doesn't have filler, lip filler, who doesn't have a boob job, who hasn't had a nose job, eyebrow lift, Botox, cheek filler, buccal fat removal. All of these treatments are now so common that it's almost rare to find an untouched face in 2024. And not only does that make people feel less than when they don't have any of these treatments and you look at your untouched face and think, my lips are so small and why are they so textured and why is my forehead so lined? Why do I have such crow's feet? This girl is the same age as me. She looks 20 years younger. How do I look so old? And we judge ourselves and we put this pressure on ourselves and we think there's something wrong with us because we look so different. We look so much older. Our lips are so much smaller than everybody else's. We are aging so much worse than everybody else, but we do our skincare, we use our SPF and we're doing everything right. We live healthily, we eat a healthy diet. How do I look like I'm 60 when I'm only 40? There's this current trend on TikTok which horrified me when I saw the comments in some of these videos. I don't know why people are doing this, but lots of women, and it seems to only be women doing this because men just don't get given the same amount of pressure and expectation to age as perfectly, or to not age, as I should say, as perfectly as women. So women are posting videos on TikTok and asking their audience to, or people who see the video, to guess their age. And my God, these videos are alarming. I feel like a lot of the women posting these videos feel really good, feel like they look really good, and they at least look their age, if not much younger. They're probably told all the time by people they know, you look so young, I can't believe you're 40, or I can't believe you're 50, I can't believe you're 35, you look like you're in your 20s, and people in person are telling these women that all of the time. So they're posting these videos on the internet for validation and to say, look how great I look at my age and look how young I look and feel, and then getting absolutely ripped to shreds in the comment section. People telling them, you look 60, I would have guessed 50, I would have guessed 55, to women who are clearly in their 30s, and just ripping them to pieces. And some of that is absolutely just false meanness. People just want to tear anyone being confident on the internet down these days. But a lot of people literally will look at someone who looks their age and tell them they look 10, 15 years older. And the reason for that is because we have been bombarded with so many false edited images of people with so many facial cosmetic treatments and fillers and surgery that we no longer really have a realistic grasp of what people actually normally look like if they're aging fully naturally without any treatments, without any little tweaks in it, without any help. That we no longer know what a 40-year-old, an average 40-year-old woman age is like. What does it really look like? How should our lines look at this age? And obviously there is no normal or how you should look at any age, because we're all so different. Genetics plays a huge factor in that, and that's not something you can control. How you live, your lifestyle, where you live, your amount of exposure to the sun and the strength of that sun, and the skincare that you do, and all of those things, how much sleep that we get, how many children we've had. I'm definitely sure that plays a factor. All of these things are going to affect how we age as we age. But if we're comparing ourselves and we're comparing everybody else to what we see on the internet as what a 30-year-old looks like, what a 40-year-old looks like, what a 50-year-old looks like, to these insanely unrealistic images that we're seeing, we're going down such a dark hole, and I already see it. A lot of it is young women leaving these outrageous guest comments and outrageous comments berating women for how they're aging and how they look at different ages. And I think you're going to age too, and you're going to hate it because it's become this really awful, dreaded thing. Lines, texture, it's so ugly, you're so old, it's disgusting. And we're talking about women who actually are in their 30s. When these young women get to their 30s, how are they going to feel? Are they going to be able to pay for all of these treatments and all these cosmetic tweaks and help to ensure that they don't look 30 when they turn 30? I'm not sure that they will. And in the next 10 years since this video, who knows what the treatments will look like and how accessible they will be. A lot of people are traveling abroad so that they can afford these treatments because they're a quarter of the price in other countries than they are here in the UK, certainly, and that carries with it a whole load of more risks and dangers. But it is becoming more and more expected to fight your natural appearance, to change everything about yourself, to stop yourself visibly aging. It's become such a shame thing that we have to hide our age, and no one wants to look their age. Everybody wants to look younger, when it is such a privilege to be aging at all. Just look at when women allow age and signs of age to show through naturally. Sarah Jessica Parker wearing her natural greying hair in Sex and the City. My goodness, the utter horrendous comments, and her hair is absolutely stunning. She has utter hair goals at any age, and I think it's so beautiful. But the comments and the hatred and the judgment for a woman wearing her natural grey hair is a madness. Absolute madness. We saw the same thing when Princess Catherine was pregnant and therefore didn't want to colour her hair because, you know, a lot of people believe that hair colour is not healthy for the baby when you are pregnant, and so she let her grey hairs grow through. Imagine if she was colouring her hair, what people would have said. They would have been berating her for putting her baby at risk for dyeing her hair. So she didn't. She let her natural hair and her natural greys show through, and shock horror, everybody was appalled, and oh my God, she's aging so horrendously. You know, money really can buy a lot of looks. It really can. You can take yourself from a 2 to a 10. You know, the Kardashian-Jenner family have a lot to answer for when it comes into this topic. And if we take a look at some of their before and after, when they were young, you know, teenage girls, before surgery, before a lot of pressure, before professional makeup artists, before professional teeth work, before professional skincare and extreme surgical treatments came along, these women were beautiful young women, but you would never look at them and say these were the most stunning women on earth. The amount of money that it takes to transform from this to this is absolutely unhinged. And we've also got, you know, professional chefs cooking their every meal. Who knows who's taking Ozempic anymore? That is another thing that has come along since my first video that has completely changed the way 90% of Hollywood looks these days. So many people, even those who were already a very slim figure, are taking Ozempic to get even skinnier, and I can already sense we're going back into the trend of being uber skinny again. All of the Kardashians are getting all of their filler and their BBLs removed, and everybody is going skinnier and skinnier and smaller, and that's becoming the new trend, is to be as skinny as possible. The buccal fat removal. I mean, everybody I've ever seen who has that looks deranged. It looks painful. It looks unnatural, but God forbid there be a single shred or ounce of fat showing on our faces now. We've also got to get rid of all of that. But if you have enough money, you can pay to have every ounce of fat removed from your entire body. And then if it becomes a trend to be curvy again, you can just have it all pumped back in. And now what we're beginning to see is AI coming into the chat. This is an even more terrifying prospect for me, because I have seen some crazy accounts popping up. There are so many accounts now on social media that are solely AI generated. So that person in those pictures doesn't even exist. Their entire profile is AI. AI accounts are popping up left, right, and center. Soon, I don't know, it could already be happening. I don't know. Have you seen it? Let me know. YouTube accounts, YouTube creators, where their entire videos are actually AI generated. This is actually going to be the next thing that's terrifying me. So we don't even know if the people that we're watching are really there. Are they really a real person with a real personality that we're going to get to know and get to like? Or is it an AI generated bot? That's the next thing that's going to be alarming us in the future, in the next few years. It's here already. We're already seeing it. You can quite easily create AI videos, articles, captions, AI photos. You can change everything about the photo, videos. It's here, it's coming. Be scared. So while the fakery has 100% grown and become harder to see and harder to spot, and the normal, raw, real, natural images are becoming fewer and further between, what can we do to keep ourselves grounded in reality, to keep our expectations realistic, to love ourselves more and be happier with how we look without all the filters, without all of the surgery, without all of the treatments, without all of the editing? How can we feel beautiful in our own skin when all we're seeing is fakery everywhere? The answer is to control your feed. Take ownership of what you're seeing, because it's quite easy to do. Follow the accounts that are raw and real and make you feel beautiful and that show you the real face of beauty with real unedited, unfiltered videos and images that give you confidence, and at least at the very minimum let you know what products will really look like when you're using them in person, in reality, without filters and without professional lighting and without editing. Follow those accounts, comment and interact with those accounts. The more you do that, the more will be recommended to you, and the more of that you will see that gives you confidence, that makes you feel normal, that makes you feel beautiful, that makes you feel more confident. Those are the accounts that we should be interacting with and bolstering and boosting and lifting up. Stop interacting, stop liking, commenting, following accounts that make you feel less than, that make you feel affected, that make you feel like you need surgery, that make you feel like you look older than you should, that make you feel less beautiful than you are. Those are the accounts that are going to suck the life out of us. They're mood hoovers, and we don't need them in 2024. So I will be tagging or linking in the description box a load of accounts that I absolutely love for their real, raw, vulnerable posting that I feel are such a great choice to support if you're supporting creators and influencers on any app. These are some of my absolute favorites that I feel will help with your confidence, will help with your just reality of what you're seeing and make you feel like you're not the ugliest person in the world. You're not the oldest looking person for your age. You're not the only person left in the village without a full face of surgery. I will be linking as many accounts as possible in my description box that I feel will have a positive impact if you're someone who's really affected by the constant bombardment of perfect people on social media. Please check out these accounts and own your own feed, control what you're consuming, and value yourself, your own beautiful skin. Remember what a privilege it is to age, and the lines on our faces and around our eyes and on our foreheads were all put there by emotion and experiences and this beautiful life. Please remember, you are exactly as you were born and made to be. Don't go changing. And especially don't go changing to fit somebody else's mold that doesn't even exist in the first place. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and I would love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye 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 bye.